Hello everyone, this is Ketish here. In this video, I'm going to go through question number 2 from the AQA Biology 2022. Paper 1 higher tier for the separate science. Question number 2 is on the topic of cell biology. Plant cells and fungal cells are similar in structure. Figure 2 shows a fungal cell. This figure 2 looks like a yeast cell. Name one structure in figure 2 which is present in both plant cells and fungal cells but not in animal cells. So the structures that is common to plant cells and fungal cells are the cell wall and the large permanent vacuole. Fungal cells don't actually have chloroplasts. If it was plant cells, yes. Which type of disease is caused by a fungus? That would be the rose black spot. Now remember, you need to know some of the disease that is caused by fungus, bacteria, protists and viral diseases, and there's only a couple of them that you need to remember. So here's a little bit of notes for you to make. So viral diseases are mainly measles, HIV and tobacco mosaic virus, which is actually a plant disease, that's not a human disease. And bacterial disease that you need to remember are the salmonella, which is food poisoning, and gonorrhea. And the fungal disease is the rose black spot disease in plants, and the protist disease or malaria is called by protozoa. These are the diseases that you need to remember for the GCSE exam. Question 2.3, a fungal cell divides every 90 minutes. How many times would this fungal cell divide in 24 hours? Now, what they're literally asking is, so 90 minutes is 1.5 hours. So that's 1.5 hours. So if I find out how many 1.5 hours are there in 24 hours, then that will give me the answer. So 24 divided by 1.5 gives me 16. So it divides 16 times. Some types of fungal cell are grown to produce high protein food. The high protein food can be used to make meat-free burgers. Where is protein digested in the human digestive system? And that's mainly in the stomach, where pepsin is produced. Salivary glands is actually carbohydrates such as starch, right, which is digested by amylase. So salivary glands produce the enzyme amylase, right, and that breaks down starch in pepsin. That breaks down protein into amino acids. So proteins to amino acid, starch to glucose. Liver, although it produces amino acids, although it produces enzymes, digestion doesn't actually take place in the liver. Large intestine, usually carbohydrates, right? 2.5, which chemical could be used to test if the burgers contain proteins? Now the answer for that is the Burette reagent. Remember, food test is part of your required practical, so you need to know how to test for proteins, fats, and glucose and reducing sugars. So here's a simple table to help you make some notes. So when you test for starch, we use iodine. The color, it starts off as orange brown. That's the color of the iodine solution. A positive result will give you a blue-black solution. A negative, there will be no color change. Benedict's for sugar, It starts off, the solution, a benedict solution is a light blue color solution, and depending on the concentration of the sugar, it can go from green to brick red. The darker the red, the more sugar there is. Again, negative result is no color change. We can use ethanol for lipids. It goes from colorless to produce a cloudy emulsion. And the burette reagent for protein, it starts off blue and it turns into a lilac or purple color. Question 2.6. Table 3 shows some information about burgers made from meat and meat-free burgers. So they have given you the mass per 100 gram of burger. Burgers made from meat and burgers made meat-free burgers. We got protein, fiber, fat, carbohydrate, and cholesterol. Now, cholesterol and fat can go together. The nutrients that is actually missing is vitamins and minerals. So, evaluate the use of burgers made from meat compared with meat-free burgers in providing humans with a healthy, balanced diet. Now, what does evaluate mean? It means to judge from available evidence. So think of evaluate is the higher order of what they actually usually ask. So think of having to list, describe, and explain all of them together. So use the information from table 3 and your own knowledge. So you have to use the information from table 3. So let's have a look at what they have given. So protein, which you need for cell growth and to produce new cells and for repair. So repair and cell growth. That's high in the burgers made from meat, low in the meat-free burgers. Fiber is high in the meat-free burgers. Why do you need fiber? Is to prevent constipation, and it helps aid digestion. Fat and cholesterol, it's important for insulating your body organs. It's a source of energy as well. Now, there's more fat in the burgers made from meat. So there's high fat there and there's very high fat there. Carbohydrate, in both the burgers, they actually seem to be very similar. And carbohydrates are needed for energy. So how do you write the answer? Here's a typical answer. Meat burgers contain more protein required for growth. Meat-free burgers contain more fiber, which aids digestion or prevents constipation. Meat burgers contain more fat and cholesterol. Now, the problem with eating more fat and cholesterol is which it can lead to CHD or coronary heart disease or heart attack or narrowing of the arteries. May lead to needing a stent, which is a procedure if your arteries are blocked up or narrowed. May lead to obesity, which is a risk factor for type 2 diabetes. May need to take statins, which are drugs to reduce blood consistency. So it thins your blood so that it prevents blood from actually clotting. Both burgers have similar amounts of carbohydrate needed for providing energy. There is no information on minerals and vitamins provided for either burger. So those are your main 5 points, which is information that is actually from the table. So then you also need to actually use your own information, your own knowledge. So point 6, meat burgers require animals to be farmed, which can lead to an increase in methane in the atmosphere. Methane contributes to global warming. Meat burgers require animals to be slaughtered, which raises ethical issues. And some people won't eat meat-free burgers because some people don't like the idea of eating fungus, and some people prefer the taste of meat. That brings us to the end of the question and the end of this video, and I will see you in question number 3.